Have you ever, tried to plug a classic video game console or maybe in an older DVD player or even one of those legacy school presentation carts into a brand new flat screen?
Oh, yeah. You look at the back of the TV and the ports are just, well, they're gone.
Right. It's honestly like buying a new house and realizing none of the doors have doorknobs. You have this beautiful brand new 1080p display, but your older equipment physically cannot connect to it.
I mean, it is incredibly frustrating. The tech industry just moves so fast that they drop these physical connections entirely.
Yeah, leaving you with a massive gap between your old output formats and modern screens. But, you don't actually have to throw out your old gear.
Definitely not.
Because today's deep dive is all about a device that acts as like a technological time machine. We're looking at a product page from HDTVSupply for the Smart-AVI V2V-MAX3-S.
That is quite the name.
Yeah, it's a full 1080p automatic switcher. And our mission today is to figure out exactly how this hardware bridges that gap, rescuing aging AV equipment from obsolescence.
It really is the ultimate tool for keeping legacy tech alive. Because, I mean, you can't just forcefully wire a yellow analog video cable into a digital HDMI port.
No, obviously not.
The signal fundamentally has to be rebuilt from the ground up.
Okay, let's unpack this. So the core function here is converting, scaling, and switching those older analog signals into a clean digital 1080p output.
Exactly.
It's like an expert UN translator, but instead of just swapping out words, it's taking a messy, handwritten letter from 1995, scanning it, and translating it into a new language.
And fixing all the typos along the way.
Right, fixing the typos and then presenting it on a modern tablet. It's actively reconstructing the signal.
And what's fascinating here is how that reconstruction happens under the hood. It is not just a passive adapter.
Right.
It features integrated upscaling. So when you feed it a low-resolution analog signal, the device uses an algorithm to essentially guess what the missing pixels should look like based on the surrounding data.
Wait, so it's making up the missing data?
Essentially, yes. It mathematically interpolates the image, automatically enhancing the picture quality. So your old VGA or composite video doesn't just look like a blurry, pixelated mess on a high-definition screen.
Okay, that makes total sense. It's basically a small computer processing the image in real time. And to do that, it has to juggle a lot of inputs.
Oh, a ton. It handles DVI, VGA, composite video, and 3 HDMI ports.
Yeah, and the specs mention those HDMI ports feature something called automatic EDID learning. Now, I've always thought of EDID as like a digital handshake.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
Like the TV says, "Hi, I'm a 1080p monitor," and the switcher says, "Great, I'll send you exactly 1080p." Is that right?
That is spot on, because without that handshake, devices get confused and you end up with a blank screen or a resolution not supported error.
Oh, the worst.
Right. So the automatic EDID learning means the switcher intercepts that handshake. It talks to your modern display, figures out exactly what resolution and frame rate it needs, and then forces whatever old legacy device is plugged in to seamlessly match those exact specifications.
So it manages the routing, the scaling, and the handshakes. But okay, here's where it gets really interesting to me.
Oh.
I'm looking at the input list, and there is a seventh port, a standard USB Type-A port, like you'd use for a flash drive.
Yeah.
Why put a thumb drive port on a piece of routing hardware? Is it just for firmware updates?
You would think so, but no. It actually decodes media directly.
Wait, really?
Yeah. You plug in a flash drive, and the switcher can read H.264 video files, MP3 audio, and JPEGs all on its own.
Oh, wow. So it's not just routing signals anymore. It's actually generating them.
Precisely. It transforms from a simple signal router into a standalone media player. Think about how businesses operate.
Like a restaurant or something.
Yeah, a retail store or a local sports bar might want to loop a promotional video or digital signage on their screens.
Oh, and instead of dedicating an entire laptop or an expensive media server to run that loop, they just stick a thumb drive right into the switcher.
Exactly. It's plug and play.
So what does this all mean for you? Well, whether you are managing AV for a business or you're a homeowner just trying to get a vintage Laserdisc player to work with your new flat screen, you don't need a massive system overhaul.
Not at all.
At a price of $599, this one device acts as a centralized brain doing the heavy lifting of translating and scaling. It saves you from having to replace thousands of dollars of perfectly functional older hardware.
It really is a brilliant preservation tool. But, it does leave us with an unavoidable question.
Which is?
Well, the V2V-MAX3-S bridges the gap beautifully for 1080p screens. But as the AV world aggressively pushes toward 4K and 8K standards.
Right. Those resolutions demand exponentially more data.
Exactly. So how much longer can bridging technology stretch? At what point is the gap between an old composite cable and an 8K display simply too vast for an algorithm to intelligently guess the missing pixels?
Wow, yeah. A time might come when the translator just can't keep up with the new language. Definitely something to mull over the next time you fire up a piece of legacy gear.